Oh, God.
It's your boy HD. Everybody get up on the dance floor and go and go and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy. Go 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 crazy. Go 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 crazy. Go 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 crazy. All the way from the crazy like a dumb dumb. East side homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is O City. All the way to the bay, hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up yo Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting out sweaty. Make it work it, work it, work it out. Turn the volume up loud. This a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the frenzy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA.
Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, y'all? I had to go back and I forgot to tag real quick. I had to tag my sissy and I said, oh. What's going on, good people? It is 8:03 and it is time for another scoop show. All right. So come on in here in this room, get on, get comfy. You see, I've already hit you with your instructions to get you ready as you come on in and get comfortable. All right. As you come in this room, if you would, please go ahead and drop your city and state in the comment section for us. Let us know where you are tuning in from on this fine Tuesday post holiday evening. Okay, we had a long one. It wasn't quite long enough because it started the week. You know, it's always cool when we get a holiday that falls on, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But when it hits that Monday and you gotta come back right there on that's a rough one. That one's rough because Mondays are rough as is, but then you just have to start it again. But like a play Monday, no, that ain't work. But we got a shorter week ish, kind of. Bright side perspective, y'all. Perspective. So happy that you got on up and got on in here in this room and you hanging out with us on this evening. We have a really great show. Lots of hot topics on tonight. We had a lot going on in the streets. These social media streets, in the world streets, is a lot going on. So we've got a great agenda lined up for you guys. While you are dropping your city and state, and I see y'all, thank you, appreciate that. As while you're dropping your state and your city, if you would please hit that share button for me while you're hanging out down there in that comment section. Go and hit that share. Let your people know where you're hanging out for the next few little minutes. Because, you know, if they're your people, we want them to be our people too. Y'all, these little lock right here getting on my nerves. I was looking around a little bit for my little ponytail. I left it. So I'm going to get it together here in just a second. But yeah, so go ahead and hit that share button so you people know where you're going to be hanging out for the next few minutes, because this is where the good conversation is going to be this evening. Okay. And per usual, you know, I always like to give folks out. You know, we ain't holding nobody hostage around here. We know your life happens in the evening. And like I said at the beginning, we know today might have been rough. So you might be behind on your normal schedule for this evening. We might be dragging a little slower than normal. You might have to dip out. Okay. We get it. We understand. No judgment around here. So you don't miss nothing, okay? You might not get it all in one fell swoop, but you're going to get it, okay? Because we get replays for the people, all right? We are out here on all the social media networks. We are locked and loaded in these streets. I don't know why you're shaking your head at me right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with it. But we are out here in these social media streets offering you replays whenever you feel, however you feel, wherever you feel like getting them. Okay, so you can tune in, tap in with us on YouTube at The Scoop Show. We are also on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, and we are on Instagram at Scoop Radio Show. You can also lock in with us on SoundCloud by searching The Scoop Show. I believe it is. It's The Scoop Show. Yes. On SoundCloud, if you don't get a chance to watch us, you can always pop those earbuds in, get it on the treadmill, on your walk, however you want it. It's hot. I'm hoping you're on a treadmill. You know, if you outside, whoo, more power to you. Make it a quick, brisk one, okay? We're gonna double up because the sweat. Okay, I say you can cut it in half because it's hot as hell. So like that sweat is gonna make up for whatever little what is it miles that you don't do whatever. Y'all can tell I don't do I
No
don't do
walk.
this here watch tracks these steps, and if they don't get on it, that it just ain't happen. I get excited when it hits me with it. It lets me know you have hit us on. Oh, I did that. I appreciate that. Look at me hitting the zone. Okay. But that's my life. We're not gonna talk about me. Yeah, there you go. There's a good little graphic if you needed one more again. YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, and Instagram. We are out here for the replay situation. Also, these hot topics that I was mentioning earlier, they come straight out of the inbox more often than not. Tonight, actually, we have quite a few that came straight out of the inbox. Okay. If you are your GPS is locked and loaded out here in these social media streets. Okay, you dipping lanes and swerving through the groups. You got the pages popping. Your notifications keep you locked in. We want to be more like you. Okay, help us. Help all right. So slide in our DMs with those links, with those gifts, with the images and all that stuff, because we want to share them with our people too. All right. So slide in our DMs, drop the conversation starters, and we are going to expeditiously share them with the people. And we're gonna talk it. We're gonna talk it out. Okay. We're gonna get on here and get the comments popping. And if we get a good enough convo going, we say, you know what? Let's take this worldwide, Craig. Let's take it worldwide. And it gets on the agenda, and then we talk about it here on the show. So hit Winner or myself up with your straight out of the inbox questions, commentary, and we're gonna take it to the people. Okay. I got one more. I'm getting used to it now. Go on and pop it up there. Give me ready while I'm in the flow. Go on and get me ready. All right, y'all. What we get ready to talk about now is our Patreon endeavor. All right.
I forgot that one. That's the one I forgot. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna have to take it off the dome. Okay, we're gonna do a
keep
freestyle
going.
on this evening. All right, so the Scoop is now out here on Patreon. Okay, we want to offer our viewers way more content. All right, you have asked, and we have provided access to Win and I. Not on the Tuesday show, okay? We're going to deep dive into all kinds of different topics. We're going to bring different guests on. We're going to offer a chat community. We've got all types of good stuff, okay? We got a scoop of sex coming, which is for the grown folks only. So we're very much looking forward to that. So you can check us out on Patreon by searching The Scoop. We have 3 different options for you. We got a half scoop, we got a whole scoop, and then we got a double scoop for you. Okay, they start at 5, 10, and 25. Is that right? 5, 10, 25. Yes. So we got some levels for you. It's levels to this, it's levels to everything. So we boom, come on. That's what I'm talking about. So you got the half scoop, the full scoop, and a double scoop available for your scoop pleasure. So you get to pick what type of access you have to Win I and all of our extended friends, because you know we kind of connected out here. So we got some good stuff on the horizon for the people. So yes, please go ahead and search us on Scoop Show on Patreon. I think that was pretty good for a quick freestyle.
That was very good.
How you doing?
What's up, Rufus? My dog.
Hey, got the Callie in the house. Hey, Mike. Yes, come on, Callie.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, I'm good. Ready. We got some good topics tonight. So got a lot of work done today. So yeah. I'm pretty good. Can't complain. What about you?
Doing well. Started my week off pretty easy breezy. I think there were all of 7 people in the building today. So It's a holiday week for us, so I don't expect to see somewhat of a decent capacity until possibly Thursday, but I'm really not looking forward to it till like next week. So it's gonna be good for me. I like it when it's quiet. But yeah, it's been a good day. Good day.
Yeah, I got a banana pudding, so I'm this weekend. So
Ooh,
I eat
come on, Father. Yes, with the
and
snack,
listen, and it was good.
and it was good. All right, all right. I made
It's
chicken and
please.
rice last night. We did anti fourth food. I be barbecued out sometimes. So I don't always feel like all that.
Yeah, I haven't got to that yet though. So I
Yeah.
do too, but that's why I usually outside of the summer don't do it very often. So I can.
And we need a new grill here. I didn't feel like turning my oven on to like make the ribs like I wanted them and stuff. So I said nah. So I made some delicious chicken and rice. It went hard. Like it was really really good. That instant pot came through for the fam, and it was also good. Okay,
Okay,
but yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
I have
cool,
ribs
cool.
probably in a week or so. Maybe later on this week, I might decide to slide over and hit me somebody's rack up. I just didn't feel like it.
I feel you. I feel you. All
Mhm.
right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Go ahead and let's go ahead and jump into these hot topics. Tonight, let's see. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I think you posted this one. No, I posted this one.
Yeah, this one was you. I had good giggles on this one.
Oh shoot! Why man? It's hitting the wrong button. We're not doing this week. We're not doing this week. All right, here we go. So the post said men should understand that some of these girls bring friends to a date because of safety, not for food and drinks. And the reply is, then why are they eating and drinking? Some of them should be outside checking the perimeter.
Check my six, sis. Check my six.
So the question is, how do you feel about a woman bringing her friends along for a first date for safety reasons? Are you buying them drinks and appetizers?
This made me giggle from a really really good place, like, and when it scrolled across my line, like I needed to giggle, so like it was like this one stuck with me. But yeah, so I know that women take precautions for safety reasons.
Hmm.
That's very true. We talked about it on the show as far as the sharing of
Hmm.
license plates and giving the descriptions and all the deets we share with someone sometimes too, to let them know where we at. That I completely understand. I condone. I'm here for it. I can't say that I get with the whole bring the girls like on the date. Um, I'm here for group dates. I think it's cool if three of my homegirls want to meet you and three of your homeboys somewhere, and we have this group date where we're all easy breezy. We come together, y'all come together, or whatever y'all do, but we coming together, and then like we all gonna leave together, and we'll figure it out. Like for those first couple encounters to make sure everything is cool. I'm even somewhat okay with I'm here at this date, and then my girls also know I'm here, and they're somewhere else off having a girls' dinner doing their thug dizzle somewhere. So, we're all aware of where we are. I can shoot that hot text or, and I'm good. Holla, whatever. And life can go on. But I think sitting more people at the table that are not engaging in the date is too much. That is tacky to me. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And that kind of bridges past safety to me. Now this seems it's a bit much. I would look at my daughter crazy if she came at me with that, and I would absolutely question my homegirl if she wanted me to come sit at the table with her and her potential boo. Girl, no. I'm gonna be over here. Me and sis gonna be over here at this table having us a drink. You should shoot me the look. I'm gonna keep. Hey, we're gonna be in our shot. I'm gonna make sure I ain't leaving till you leave. Like you let me know when we can go. We good. I'm good with that. But I'm not gonna sit at the table with you and your people. Like I'm not gonna do that. If we have
I
not
would,
established a date thing, we're not gonna do that.
I'm
No.
trying to figure out who wants to do that. Like who, what friend is like, ooh, I think I want to spend my Thursday night sitting at the table with my homegirl and The
I've
dude,
seen some younger girls try and push some crazy ish off. I've seen them do some different things. I won't say it's not happening. I think this one might be one that we've aged out of. Like, just to be completely
is that it? So
came from
people,
somewhere. This has come from somewhere, bro. Like, I'm just not, it's not lost on me that it is some foolery happening
I,
out here in these streets.
it's not a lot. I'm just like, so y'all
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Because you have to think though, there's a group of, and I can't even segment it into an age group. There is a segment of people who do not value taking the time to
To
actually get to know a
get to know
person
people.
well
That
enough so
yes.
there is a level of security when you can go to a dinner with someone and trust that you might, it's a good chance you're gonna make it back to the house tonight. That would be a red flag for me, first off, that I don't feel comfortable meeting someone in a public enough place that I want to also invite 2 to 3 of my other homegirls to.
That,
So,
but that, and I've said that. I mean,
yeah,
I've said that. Like, what happened? I feel old now. Like,
yeah,
what happened to let's talk for a couple of weeks, couple days, whatever, to get to know you and before because my thing is if you don't feel comfortable, I would be like, if you don't feel comfortable enough with me to go on a date by yourself, then we don't need to go on it. We're not at the space so we need to go on a date. We
yep,
need to keep talking and getting to know each other, or meeting in public places or something of that nature so you feel comfortable enough to do that. But if you're not that comfortable, we're not going out yet.
no. And you are not buying drinks for them. Like,
I'm not definitely not buying
as
drinks
my
for
date, no. My drink, my food, them heifers got it. I love them, but they're good. Like, cause they over there at their table. Like, at the most, send my girls a drink. If you're trying to really impress me, win a little couple points, okay, fine. Send them one round of whatever I tell you that they drinking, because I know my girls, and then let's go on about our night. But like, you're not finna sit here and run up a tab on this man's dollar on my first time meeting this man. Like, no. That's setting an expectation that mm-mm, mm-mm. And it's the first date. Like, mm-mm. I don't want you to think that we come as a package. We don't. Not like that.
no, y'all do. If we do that,
We
please,
don't.
y'all do.
You know what I mean? And the way that a lot of folks translate the transaction to the expectation. No.
I'm like,
Absolutely
no,
not.
I'm just not doing it. I'm not. I'm like, listen, we gonna go walk in the park then. If that's where you are, let's go walk in the park at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when there's plenty of people
Yep.
and you can feel until you feel comfortable. I'm
Sit on a
not.
good bench and have us a hot dog and a slushie and be good. Yeah.
Yep, yep. I'm not doing. I just yeah.
Mm-mm.
To me, that's one. Is like you have a whole lot of audacity to be bringing somebody else on the date.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, this is my girl.
Mm-mm. Yeah. That would. I don't even know how you set that up.
You
I don't
don't.
like. How do you just? I don't.
You don't. You don't.
Right. You
And
don't.
then you get and then you get an attitude. Look, then you get an attitude with the man when he say, "Nah, he not doing that."
Yeah, and then
And
he's
you
cheap,
go
and
and you go on
he
Facebook,
ain't no real man, and
you go on Facebook and talk about him real good.
I ain't been good morning beautiful and all of these chicks. Who are these people? Like, I don't even know these women. Who are these people? Like, come on, sis.
These strange. This is
Yeah.
strange. These strange.
Cause like I wouldn't want to have a date with a bunch of his don't bring your sisters. Like, don't show up with your sisters on our date. Don't show up with your boys on a date. Like, if I'm dating you, that's like me meeting your mama and your sisters and your auntie on the first time we ever sitting down with each other. That's, to me, that's the equivalent of the hot seat. You bringing two, three your homegirls to sit here and experience this, and now that's the same thing. You sitting your mama, your granny, them, and your auntie right here, the women that's done raised you, and we all gonna sit and break bread together for the first time. Girl, boy, please.
Check
going.
this.
Yeah,
Check
it's been
this.
nice meeting
Check this.
y'all. Enjoy your lunch, but no.
I'm just gonna keep walking. I'm gonna see y'all.
Yeah, I don't. That's just I don't understand that. I'm a pass. I'm a hard pass on that. No.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
This just say no.
Mm.
All right. So this is I thought was very. We have not dealt with this at all. So yeah. So those you all know Roe v. Wade was overturned. I saw this on my good sister Johanna's page, and I thought this was a good way to engage this topic. So she writes, it's important to know that I am not for abortion. I do not agree. However, the government is not God. My body does belong to Christ, to God, not to the government. We have no rights to give God's authority to the government. God is sovereign over my body, and yet God gives me the choice to follow him. How are we holy by taking that choice away? Answer me that. So, what are your thoughts now that the Supreme Court has made the decision to reverse Roe v. Wade?
So I feel that this comment is directed to a specific group of people. And for that specific group of people, I think it is it's an accurate question to ask. I think it makes a lot of sense to ask that question as it relates to um, the beliefs and the book and the order. And I didn't mean the book in a disrespectful way. I mean the Bible. I wanted to clarify that. I'm not trying to be
We
disrespectful.
said people in the,
Well,
the
yeah,
people in the book.
I wanted to come back and clarify that. But so yes, I can I say yes to that. This decision I was not as shocked, I think, as a lot of people were. And I think I know it's because we kind of were given the prelude to this. We knew this was coming with the leak. What was it, a month or two before the decision actually came down? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's about a 92% chance that thing's coming on down because it was pretty thorough when we got it at that point. So I think if anything, I was more so disappointed that it did actually come to fruition. I think no, I feel that we are really comical at this point with the way we are picking and choosing this whole Christian nation thing, and then the separation of church and state thing, and then the whole like it's so convoluted. Like, I don't care what you believe when you pray, when you do your life, whatever. Keep that out of the law because no. First of all, the laws are for everyone, and everybody don't believe what you believe because and even like within your church everybody might not believe what you believe, so like stop it. So like I am just not for, like, here in Oklahoma it is so thick, like we have politicians literally praying in their campaign videos to God, like, dear God, I want to be the such and such, and if it is in your will to let me, if you don't get your off my screen praying to the be the stop it. So like I personally am just like over it with this. And then now that it started to trickle down into, not started to, but like it's directly shifting so much of what it feels, I mean, what it is to be a woman, to have daughters, to have a community that loves women and cares for and supports women, to know that these things are being stripped is just maddening and extremely frustrating, regardless of what you feel. Like, the choice is the whole thing for me. It's not even a matter of like, will you do, will you, okay, don't do it if you don't agree with it, fine. But you removing the choice is an entire, not you, but people removing the removal of the
Yeah.
choice is
Oh, I know you were
No,
talking
no, I
about
mean,
me.
because I don't want people to think like if you like not you win. I know you not,
Yeah, no.
but I mean those who oppose this thought process. But it's not the removal of the choice is the issue, not the should you or should you. The should you or shouldn't you is your personal decision. But
Mhm.
the removal of the choice is what is just WTF for me, and why this is what we're riding out on. If babies and there's so many other things we could have done first, in my opinion, before this. If preserving life and children and all of the stuff that they're telling us is the reason for this, if that were all true, this should have been the last thing done to support all of the other ish that should have been done prior. So I am obviously very
Yeah,
over
I
this.
think I think for me the reality is that whether my faith, like I recognize that people's faith is a part of their moral, how they make moral judgments and all that kind of stuff. I think the part that frustrates me is is the very intriguing way that we select the way we want our faith to
Uh-huh.
inform our morality.
Yeah.
Um, that's the part that bothers me. It's that, and then it is this idea that we are supposed to um, place our place that on top of other people, like even the entire idea of this being a Christian nation, to me is just an entire farce,
It is to a
and
lot of people.
an attempt to try to manipulate people into thinking, um, into a certain action, and not to put our morality or our country's morals on top of other people. Because if that were the case, again, now we would be doing some things differently. So I struggle with the idea that this is has anything has it has anything to do with what we're saying, what they're saying it is, but it has more to do with the fact of I am trying to um, there's some kind of economic gain.
Yeah.
And so whether it is, as somebody in the comments said, about having a bigger, I'll call it what it is, slave labor, whether it's about population control, whatever it is, there isn't. If it's about really trying to, I don't know, but what it's not is not about trying to make sure that the welfare of all of the people in our country is good. Because if our goal was to see everybody flourish, then there would be some other things that would be being done. Number one, and number two, if this was really about murder, like it's what I've heard, this is about murder. If this were really about murder, then we wouldn't be having conversations. We wouldn't have what we had this weekend, where we're having another young black man getting killed, and who's allegedly did something, and then at the same time a young white guy who actually did something, and he's still alive and got arrested. Like we're really, it's just not happening. So I think we got to be honest about what this really is. This has really nothing to do with, you know trying to be morally or ethically right or biblically right, because I don't because we done screwed up what the Bible says for a long time. Let me rephrase that. We have screwed up what the Bible says since the moment we stepped into this country.
Yep.
From the moment we stepped into this country and decided to kill an entire group of people so we can get their land, we completely did the exact opposite of what the Bible says, and then did it in Jesus' name. So
Yeah.
we can't say our goal is to be something that we've never really been.
Yeah. It's just this is because and honestly, I hope we realize what this begins. Like, I don't know if people realize that okay, it's just women, or even some women who aren't really connected to it. I didn't. There's women who aren't really worried about. I've had my kids, whatever the case. Like, this comes into play even for those respectful relationships. If a woman is married, and with her husband, and the baby is sick, she's gonna it's something. There are all kinds of stipulations being put in place to make
We
it
gotta
so
screw
that
up. We
you,
gotta screw.
although your chances of dying are already high, you could know that you're gonna die and have to say, well, we just gonna pray about it, is essentially what this law is saying that you do. You know what I mean? Like that. It's so crazy, and it's gonna trickle down. We've already got the precursor. We've already started with the interlude to what's next. How far it goes. Somebody's gonna pick that up because that's just the energy that we have in this country right now, and it's working. Like, it's working. People are not looking at past what is being shown to them. It's not the next level of what this means. There was a proverb or something that I don't know if it's a proverb or a quote or whatever about the people who stand up. That didn't affect me, so I didn't say anything. They came for these people that didn't affect me, so I didn't say anything. They came for these people, and then when they finally came for me, there were no people to save me. Like, that is essentially what I see happening. There's going to be no one to save whoever is left when everything
I
is
said actually just said something similar this morning about. So you heard about the shooting this weekend in the suburb of Chicago. So this was in Highland. For those who don't know, there was a parade yesterday in Highland Park, and I think last of 6 people were killed and 11 people injured.
I saw like 20 people.
Was it 20? Okay,
I think so. Yeah.
So
Thank
this was
mm-hmm.
so for those who are not familiar, everybody's like, "Oh, it's just Chicago." No. This was Highland Park, which is one of the wealthiest communities in the country, and it ain't us that's living. I think I read something like the average median income in Highland Park. The average median income in Highland Park is $90,000 a year. So these are people who are in, the upper middle class and wealthy people who live in this. And I said, now that white people are starting to shoot other white people, watch, all of a sudden there's going to be a rush very soon to reform gun laws. Even because your point, what happens is when it's not, just like with the war on drugs, it was when there was a war on drugs in our community, it was you gave us McGruff the Clown Dog, Dare, Say No to Drugs,
whole campaign.
You gave us a whole, and some read a book and get some personal pan pizzas.
Yeah.
Now,
pizzas.
Now it's an issue. It's a whole epidemic. What you mean? It's been an epidemic, and now all of a sudden, because it's affecting white people in upper middle class and wealthy neighborhoods, watch, it's going to be a problem because we're going to see more of that. We're going to see more of it not being us, but it's going to be more of them and killing them, and then now it's going to be a problem. And now watch, something going to happen.
Same thing I see happening with like EBT and SNAP. Same thing. Families have been struggling to feed families long before COVID hit, long before kids was sitting at home. You know what I mean? Like, people have been struggling where the school meals was all that they got. They knew that, which is why when the kids went home, they gave everybody an EBT card. Every kid in the house got an EBT card, and they loaded that bad boy up like it was a casino. Okay, every kid in the house. Okay, like everybody. They miss a week, you get 4. You get 4. You get 4. It's like, okay, so it's obvious that there was a need there, but until it touched not just our babies, but your babies was also potentially hungry, or your pocketbook got hit a little bit deeper too. You start saying, hey, but we hungry. We hungry. Oh, you're hungry, baby. Oh, okay. Now everybody's swiping white cards like it's the thing to do. There's no more shame across EBT now. Who got them? You know what I mean? Like, you got yours. It's whole post when y'all check your cards. It's lit. Like, and it's not just us. So now it's okay. But when it was poverty, it was like, you need to get more jobs. Stop selling your stamps. Stop that. Everybody gets stamps was selling them. Now nobody was actually going to the store and eating with the stamps. Everybody was selling the stamps. Now nobody want to talk about that because they're literally giving them randomly, even no rhyme or reason to it. You don't even know when you're gonna get stamps on them cards. They just happen to be on there. You don't know until somebody posts about it. So yes, if until it hits them, it does it. Now, are we going to benefit? Absolutely, because they didn't pick and choose which houses got the white cards with the kid. Everybody got them. But it is funny to sit back and say, "Oh, when your tummy rumbles, when your baby's tummies rumble, oh, it's okay. When your parades get shot up, oh, we need a law. Oh,
now we need a law.
Now we need laws.
Oh, yep. So this will be the same thing. This will be the same thing. This rover. You know, and again, I know for those who will watch this and say, you know, all the reversal did was return it back to the states. That's absolutely correct. We know that it did just return it back to the states, but we also know that again that a part of that is this idea of population redistribution and trying to make sure that certain places are overly saturated with certain people and certain places are not. So we totally recognize that. Let me see. What we got here? Mike said, or KG says that people think that they are humans, but as an American, you are an employee of a corporation, and you will do what the handbook says. Mike says this was about white people becoming a minority and having bodies to feed the system. Prisons are being built. This has nothing to do with God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
KG says we need to make more Americans, not import more Americans. A corporation cannot run properly trained employees.
He meant without well-trained employees. He came back and did on the next one. Yep.
I got you.
Yep.
There will only be talks. Middle America will flip this upside down.
Talking about gun laws, I think is where they came in. Yeah.
Talk about the opioid addiction. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. That's true. That is true. Mm-hmm. Blacks been dying for years, but only when it affects their children. Absolutely. That's exactly it. Exactly it. Now all of a sudden, I'm telling you, they're gonna have a problem now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, this one was rough. Oh, roll away.
It was and is rough. My bigger concern, not my bigger concern, but another big concern, let me say that for me is, hey Shanae, is what this does to health, to the health, because this isn't going to stop. So even if you're in a state that outlaws it, it's not going to stop.
No.
It's not going to stop somebody from getting one. So that means, now we might have to deal with health issues, and I don't care for that.
Women will die. It's more than even health issues. Women will die because
I don't want that. I would. That just to me doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah. So I don't care for it.
No. I also say throw the whole. So no, move on. Another post.
Go ahead. What did you say?
No, because I was thinking more on what, like earlier last week, I think it was, I asked, because I was reading another post and some comments, and I asked, like, are humans property? Because it was, and I wanted to know, and because I didn't, that was an honest question. I didn't know, like, how it really boiled down, whether how you feel about it or not, like, are humans considered property? And I learned that yes, in lots of ways. As soon as you're given your birth certificate, your social, and all that, yep. Let you join the military? Absolutely. Go to prison? Oh, yeah. Like, there are different levels to your ownership and what that restricts or provides for you. But, but I also said that I know that a lot of this is based on the Constitution and all these other archaic documents that I'm like burning.
It's the
all of it. That's why I say all of it. Like, burn it all down.
It's the treasury. It's all of it. Like, it's the treasury. It's the insurance industry. It's all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely all of it.
Yep.
So
get rid of it all. Like, at this point, it is not evolved healthily. It is not evolved in a way that makes damn sense. Anybody with a good piece of a brain and critical thinking skills can put together that this does not work. It's just.
I think the problem. I think I think most people know it. I just think that we have not, that there is no, like, it's so um convoluted and
Yep.
intertwined and
Right.
messed up that it's like that thing where like you pull the string and the whole thing falls apart, or like it's like it's one of them type of things, because I mean, again, you pull the economic part, then you got like it's just,
I know.
and
I
it's
think
done on
it's
purpose.
not an overnight thing, I think, but there are ways that we could begin to pull strings of different pieces of this garment
Yeah,
and make it so that the
yeah,
whole world doesn't crumble behind this piece of paper. It's kind of where I'm at.
absolutely.
Like, I completely get the
Yeah,
intricacies of it, but it's rooted in that damn piece of paper, and I'm over it. Like, that piece of paper is hindering what needs to be done. We
hmm,
fighting over adding stuff and removing stuff and putting words and doing all this other stuff for people that it no longer, it does not fit. Like, and we know it. Like,
hmm.
we know it. Why are we amending and discussing things that make people people? Like, come on. Like, I don't. So I'm throw the whole damn thing away. Burn it. Blame it. That's how I feel about it. Get rid of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's keep it going.
Mhm.
Y'all keep dropping them
Yeah.
comments and hitting that share button. All right, here we go. So
Ooh,
obviously you posted this one.
I did.
You said, what are your thoughts on this? A few points to consider before replying, please. One, Lord, I can't read this right. Hold
I
on.
know, right? I'm looking too.
Ooh, I was about to say my eyes is bad. No, that's just really small.
It's small. Yeah. Do you want me to do
Okay,
it?
I got it. A
Okay.
few points to consider before replying, please. One, Dad doesn't say that the new man is abusive, disrespectful to him personally, or any of the easy disqualifiers. Two, he also doesn't say that he isn't able to see his child. What advice do you have what advice do you have that is in the best interest of the child and can create a healthier co-parenting situation from this family? So the question is, all right, it says Q, he says, I told my baby mama I don't want her man around my son. She moved in with him and he's feeding and dressing my son, and it's disrespectful. I'm married, so I can't be there with my son, but I don't want him bonding with her dude. Fathers matter. How do I get her to see this?
Mhm. So after posting this, I later found out that this is also very aligned with a recent Upshaws episode that came out. So I'm not really sure if this was someone spinning off of that or if it was vice versa, because I believe shows take things from social media also. But it's also very reminiscent of an Upshaws episode. Be that as it may, this is a situation that, per my comment section, happens quite often, and the comment section that I followed this, I trace this back to the same. So interesting here. I thought this was kind of crazy, being completely honest with you. At first, I said, "Boy, what?" Like on my first read, I said, mm. No, because of the 2 points that I made. Like, there was not any abuse being shared. There was not any issue that had been talked about. He didn't have any foul words for homie or even her, really, other than I don't want him around the dude. Like, even so, he dresses him and feeds him. How the audacity! Like, like I was even thinking, bro, if you trying to get some folks on your side, like, this is not how you do it. And I think we, in some of the comments, we even chatted about that, because people asked, like, there's got to be more to it, and I said, well, he wrote this. This wasn't a third party account from someone else. This was his word.
Uh-oh.
That that is legit the second time that has happened, and I'm not touching my mouse or anything, but for whatever reason, my camera just keeps saying, "No, you don't get to be seen tonight." So my bad. But like, these are the times when people use to add all of the sauce. Like, you're gonna put all the extra flair on your situation so that you can get as many people as possible to side with you. You know what I mean? So he didn't say any of those things. So with that, I was like, well, what is the real? How is this an issue that she needs to? Yes, that's what he said. So I didn't understand that, and there was quite a few comments. I actually haven't had this much movement on a post on my page in quite a while, so I was excited about that. But there were quite a few comments. A lot of folks were talking about like, this is crazy, bro. Like, you're gonna have to suck that up. Like, that you didn't marry her. Like, you don't get to make that decision if you're not in the actual household with her, and you got a whole new wife. Like, one, in my thoughts, I was like, if you've managed to marry a whole woman and this hasn't been a issue with y'all, the whole dating of others or whatever. He didn't mention it. It may have been, but you can dated, married, and have a whole life situation with another woman, and she can't have this situation. Like, how is that supposed to? Were you not there while you dated and courted and married? Did you just say solo on the sun until you figured that out? Or did she get to meet baby boo before you said I do? Like, help me understand it. So I didn't get that. And there were quite a few folks who also said, like, go and get custody. And I can be honest with you, I didn't understand that either. I don't understand how this situation should remove an actual biological parent from a child. Like, I didn't see how that worked in the best interest of the child. Granted, there were no abuse, there's no disrespect. The child, what if the baby is happy? Like, what if the only person in this situation who has an issue is the dad? Kids cool, being over there with the homie and the mama, likes going hanging out with daddy and the new wife, new mommy when we hang out. I'm good. I'm cool. Have no problems. Baby mama might not have no problems, other than the fact that homie keeps fooling with me about my man. Like, leave me alone, bro. We good. Do your life. I'm doing my life. If he's the only person with the problem, why we got to talk about custody now? Why can't we just talk? You get a visitation order where you get a week, I get a week. You get a week, I get a week. Like, what? How do we get to just snatch it? Nope, you don't get the kid no more. How is that? I didn't understand that one either. I don't get it. So I mean, those are my questions that I came from this. Aside from the fact, bro, I didn't get it. I don't get it. Help me, bro. You are dad. Help me with this.
All right. So not only am I a dad, but I've been in this situation before. I've been on both sides of the situation. I've been on both sides of the situation, and really, what it boils down to is ego. This is a ego trip by a man who is feeling the loss of control. You are feeling the loss of control in your situation, and I'm not one, first of all, to say that ego is all bad. I think there's a healthy amount of ego, but I think that in this instance, this has gone too far. Like, I'm happy that you want to be there for your son, but I also got to call BS, because from what you said, your reason is because you're married. Now, unless I'm married means I live several states away and can't be there on a regular basis, and I'm not there, that brings some context to it. But if y'all live in the same city, you being married doesn't have anything to do with how often that happens. And even so, if your son's primary caregiver is the mom, meaning your child is with the mom, at some point she's gonna move on. So the extent of what you can do is to, make sure that you have a healthy relationship with the mom. Make sure that you and the new guy have a good relationship. Y'all cope, like you said, y'all work together. Y'all have enough conversations where y'all work together, and he hopefully respects you as the,
right.
Because most men ain't trying to replace you.
No.
They're not trying
Especially
to replace
if
you.
you're trying to be there. Like, if you're trying to be there, like, what's up, bro?
Even if they're trying to be there, they still ain't trying to replace you. They just understand that this comes with, like,
this
okay,
is what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Then I gotta go ahead and do what I need to do if I'm choosing to be with this woman. So most men ain't trying to do that. They're trying to support. They're trying to be there for what the young man in this instance needs, and to help out the person who they're with.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't trying to replace the father. You're trying to be a supplement to the father. So be grateful that you have that.
Yeah.
So deal with your ego. And again, this is been on this. And when my ex-wife and her fiance got together, I was like, Ooh, ooh, like it
Mhm.
hurt. I was like, man, this dude get to spend more time with my kid than I do, and but then you got to be like, put your big boy pants on and be like, yeah, that's what happens when you get divorced or you don't marry the person. Like,
Mhm.
you gotta. This is what comes with it. So after that, after I had dealt with all personally, I dealt with all it. I'm like, you know what? At that point, the only thing that my concern has to be is, does he take care of him well?
Mhm.
Is he putting forth a good, a good representation of what I want my son to become? My only comment is, don't ever put your hands on his mama, and we ain't got no problems.
I just
That's
don't.
it.
I think that staying engaged, like the kid is, especially for a kid that is like not an infant, taught like they know who you are, like you've got the established relationship and all of that. There's no, they're always gonna know dad. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
they're gonna know who their
Absolutely.
dad is. Like, and I was raised by a dad who was not my bio dad. I've always known who my dad was. My brother always knew who his dad was. You know what I mean? And our relationships with our stepdad and our biological father are completely different, but they're both equally rich and amazing, and those are our dads. You know what I'm saying? So like, um, I don't I don't fully understand, and even if there is not a full on alignment with what you would ideally want for your day to day for your child, that is a part of what happens when you don't stay with the parent, and that is not at all saying also, because just as much as I question the whole just get custody thing, I also question the immediate, well, you didn't marry her, so you don't get to make those decisions. Every person that you create a child with should not be your forever spouse. That
Sure.
them not being together could also be very much in in the child's best interest that these two people are not within the same household together. However, comma, because y'all couldn't work that part of it out, you all have to work this part of it out, being good parents to this child in separate households, which has to allow for each separate parent to find their other forever person if it ain't that person. Because marriage isn't always the end all be all to making everything magical either. That's not always ideal for two people who
No.
created a child.
Yeah, it's not. I just, yeah, I think that we got to be honest and just say, like, this is not about the kid. This is about me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. My thing is, that's fine that you feel that way. It's just not good to let that be, to stay that way. You can't stay
Be
there.
the reason. Yeah, you can't let this be the hill that you die on, homie. Like this cannot be
If dude is treating your kid good, hey, thank you. I'm gonna send them clothes, like you said. I'm gonna still be involved. Like,
that.
call, FaceTime, whatever, duo, whatever you got to do. Like,
Yep.
be there. Your kid is not going. It's not going to diminish the impact that you have in your child's life. I promise, it's not.
As more people supporting, loving, being there. How many ears? That's now 4 ears to listen. That's 4 men ears to listen
Yeah.
to this young man's problem, as opposed to some young men who don't have one set. You got two
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. As you said, what if he sucks and can't teach my son? Again, if that's the case, that's a totally different discussion. That's a different discussion in the sense of, now you need to have that with the mother in terms of, like, hey, a woman knows what her man can and cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this the only way for me. It has to make sense for the kid. If he's on some weak stuff, then at that point, you as a father might want to step in and be like, hey, you know what? Listen, I want my son to come live with me.
Yep.
There's some things I want to impart to him, and again, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but doing it for the sole motive of, I don't want to do feeding and dressing my son,
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem.
And I
It's the
also think
reason
that,
not
sorry,
to do it.
I thought you
No, go.
were. I also think that it also matters on, because just reading that, like, if he sucks and can't teach him nothing, like, if he's, what does suck mean? Like, is he sorry? Like, he don't have no values, no character about him, and he has nothing to offer? Or does this mean dude is not, he can't take an engine apart and rebuild the engine. He don't know how to do
Yeah.
handy stuff. And, you know,
You
he's
got type
not
of man.
that
Yeah.
person. He might have a guy that knows a guy and does something completely different. And that doesn't mean that he's not a viable resource and potential father figure for a child because he doesn't check all the same boxes that you might check from a man's perspective. Because they're not saying, KG, that's what you mean. You could have very well meant the extreme of that, of him just not being, you know, moms might choose real bad. You might have been the last good dude she chose, and it's then down here from there, you know, whatever. But I think we also have to qualify what our criteria is, and is it really valuable as opposed to, you know, when it comes to the raising of the child. Because if you're involved, then you can go teach them how to do the car and the handyman and the rope, the horse, whatever it is not manly enough, or whatever, you know, the thing that you want him to know. But he could also have value in that other side of whatever is being taught also. So I want to put that out there because I've seen versions of that response on this subject, not particularly this specific one, but on subjects like this many, many times, as far as, and it's been broken down a little bit like what I just shared. So I wanted to piggyback off of that thought, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Again, I think it's just, yeah, like I said, I get it. I get it. I tell people, I said, I did a whole video saying, you know, before you divorce, listen to this video. I've done it, and anytime I've had several conversations in the past 2 weeks with men who are like, I'm thinking about getting divorced, and I'm like, let's have this conversation first because I need you to fully be aware that, you know, because you have kids, this is what this is going to look like, and this is what you need to prepare to deal with, and that is really the biggest thing, which is the loss of control. You no longer have control over seeing your kid. Like, I want you to let that sit in, and I'm like, and this idea that, oh, it's not going to happen to me because we get along. No, you get along now because you have to. She's trying to get along with you, but then she don't have to. She can come and go as she pleases. She can bring whatever man she wants. And now you just got to sit your behind on the sidelines and be mad with yourself. So if you really want this, let's think this through, because there is an emotional cost that you have to pay that happens when you decide to not be married to the child or be with the child. You know, again, and I don't tell them that to make them stay or anything like that.
That's just the reality of it.
For the reality that you're gonna look up and you're gonna possibly see your kid playing with another dude, and that weird, jealous, angry, loss of control feeling cuts deep.
Yeah,
it cuts deep. So
it's a different level of loss from the relationship that shows up.
Yep. So they're like, I ain't think about that. No.
And
it's a real thing. So
yep,
you'll be all right.
It was a good talk, y'all. Good chat. You'll be all right. On the other side of the you'll be all right. Yeah.
All right.
That tickled me.
Never try to control your partner. Let them do what they want so you can see what they would rather do. Their actions will show you how much they love and respect you. Agree or disagree? Read that again. Never try to control your partner. Let them do what they want so you can see what they would rather do. Their actions will show you how much they love and respect you. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, for the most part, I actually agree with that. Yeah, y'all know I am anti-control. Y'all know I am team let me loose. As far as the whole possession and control of people. So from it had me at that, you know, that first sentence. But I think this is very accurate, especially for the pretty well-known, understood relationship laws, and not even platonic relationships. I mean, not only just romantic relationships, just like relationships with people, period. there are knowns that you just don't do. If you rock with me, you don't do XYZ things. So I absolutely think that holds true for those. I think where I get a little gray is where there are specific things that are your things that you are looking for responses on. I think those things are good indicators of conversations that you may need to have, but I don't think that they are true indicators of love and respect. If they haven't been identified as things that are necessary, or things, just lay it, make it plain as it can be, the thing for you, I think that's asking a lot to have a person's loyalty and respect, their love for you, questioned because you didn't move a certain way. So.
So yeah, I agree. I think that it's not on one. I do agree that you should not try to control somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree that you should want to sit back and see what they want to do without the influence of you having told them what you want them to do.
Yep.
I agree with that. I think that in a lot of instances, that's not a good sign to of love and support. I don't think that that's. I don't think that's a good always a good indicator of that, because a lot of times people are going to do two things. They're going to do what makes them comfortable, and they're going to do what they've always done.
Yeah.
So if a person is in a relationship with you and you tell them, hey, example, when you go out and stay out till 3 o'clock in the morning, that makes me uncomfortable because, whatever reasons. At that point, now, it makes me feel unloved. It makes me feel whatever, whatever your thing is. Then at that point, now
Mm-hmm.
you get to see
Yep.
how much they love and respect you.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been going out to 3 o'clock in the morning because that's what they've always done. In previous relationships, it wasn't a big deal. So it's not a sign of respect or lack of love or lack of respect, excuse me. It's just what we do.
Yeah.
What we've
You
always
haven't set
done.
that boundary yet. Now that you have, now what we gonna do with it? Yep.
Now we can see.
Yep.
And just because you say it doesn't mean they should change, but it means at least we can engage in the conversation
Yep.
that lets me get to the point where I can make a decision as to whether or not I should change, number one, or okay, we'll make, because I've had situations where it's like, well, okay, it makes you feel unloved. Why? Because I feel like you should just be in. Well, I go out twice a year
Mm-hmm.
and I don't do anything. So when I'm out, so how would it make you feel more comfortable if I called you so that way you knew where I was at, what I was doing? Yes, that would make me feel comfortable. Okay. So now, what I mean? So now we've had the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
we set a boundary that we both can agree with. And so now the love and respect that you want, you still get to have. So that's the part why I disagree with you. But I think that we should want to see people at their most authentic selves, so that way we can see their authentic self,
Yeah.
and we can be our authentic self, and really expose ourselves to the things that will let us know, not so much just if we should be together, but can we negotiate,
Mm-hmm.
can we negotiate our values enough that they will work well together?
Yep.
Because every relationship has to go through the negotiation phase where I'm willing to give up something, you give up something, now we both can meet in the middle, as opposed to one person is always giving up something and the other person just gives in because they don't want to make you mad.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
I love a good observation mode. I think it does a lot of good in a lot of ways. Yeah. As much as I love to communicate, I will also sit back and watch. I think it's a good life skill. Sorry, we can definitely move on. That's just me rambling and what you just said, but it's true, folks. Hey,
Go ahead. You had something else to
I just do. I mean, I'm just honestly saying, like we put a lot on, and I'm a communicator. I love words. I love hearing thoughts and feelings and getting down to the nitty gritty of a thing. But I've also learned that there is a lot to be learned by watching how a person moves. You can only say so many words
say.
in so many ways
Mhm.
before you just need to sit back and watch what's happening.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? And that's why I
Absolutely.
think that's why I was so agreeing with this at the beginning. Like if you let a person just loose and do what they do, how they respond and react to that either whether it be pressure or that freedom, how far they move and do what they do, that shows you a lot.
It does. And that is true too.
Hmm.
Um, because to your earlier point, we're not the goal is not to control
Right.
your person. Or manipulate your person, but the goal is to again is to see and then again try to see if we can negotiate this.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but I no, I agree because they're not our property, and that's I think that it comes back to they're not our property. They really are. I mean, they're not our property, but they're our partner.
Hmm.
In the sense that again, if we're going to do partnership well, then we both have to give up something.
Yes.
So
We got some comments.
yeah. I agree. Let them be themselves. Pay attention, and you decide if it's with or without you.
Hmm.
Rufus says, I'm November 18th, a Scorpio and a control freak. This was the hardest lesson of my life.
Hmm.
I definitely understand that. You can't make anyone do anything. Nope, not for a long period of time. You can't, and not with listen, not with joy. You can't.
Right. That's the kicker.
With
Do
joy.
they want to?
Not with any level of joy. I
Hmm.
think sometimes we can overcomplicate things by thinking our partner has to meet every expectations about our insecurities. Yeah, I think it's. I agree with that, but I also will say that I think that some things are not necessarily an insecurity. So I think there are some things that should be met from a different place than insecure. Like I can be secure, but at the same time think that this is just an unhealthy thing to do.
Yeah.
So I think I agree that our partner's not responsible for, you know, doing what meeting our expectations because of our insecurity. But yeah, but also to me, I think if I'm your partner and I know something makes you insecure,
Mhm.
I shouldn't be just tap dancing all over it either. So,
Right.
so I
Right.
think
Because humans have insecurities. I think we've gotten
yeah,
so proud and so healed that we don't like to own them, or we shame ourselves for being very human and not like being perfect. Like to me, that's
yeah,
what that is. Us identify, like it's one thing to know that people are perfect, like everyone isn't perfect, but when you've identified that imperfect thing about yourself, it like does this. So that is essentially what an insecurity is. It's the truth that you like let sink in about yourself. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that we could be insecure about that we'd be like, oh,
yeah,
girl, please, I'm killing it. You know what I mean? But there's a couple things that you allowed to seep in, and those happen to be your insecurities, whether they be through experience or self-talk or whatever. So I think we in the realm of relationships, we also don't give ourselves enough space to be human, and we don't, while we shouldn't give all of that weight to our spouses or our people who are in relationship with us, there is a certain expectation that you should be sensitive to the things that I'm sensitive to because you care about me. No, I don't expect you to solve this thing forever for me and I never have this problem and now it's just poof, it's gone. But I would like for you to be aware of it. And when it does happen, even if you don't get to cater to it in this moment, don't like dog me out about it because you do know that this thing is my thing. You know what I mean? That's your thing. Okay, but damn, I thought I was your thing. No, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you right. I mean, like, so like we have to think about the position we're putting our person that we say
right.
every day that I love you more than anything, except
Hmm.
this thing that I know hurts you real, real deep. That's essentially what you're choosing when we come back around and say those things. That's not a moment for a life lesson in the midst of this person saying,
Person hurt.
yeah. So how we do it is important, I think.
I was thinking of not being able to stay out twice a year with that feeling. You can't. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I'm with you.
yeah.
I'm with you. And I've seen situations where even staying out twice a year, I'm like, yeah, I can see why that would be problematic. I mean, if there's a history, a history there, then that can still be a problem. So I can definitely see that where I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. Where we at? Where we at? Oh, okay. Go ahead. Let's yeah. Let's go ahead and do this.
We're at 9:10.
Hmm.
Moving
Uh-oh.
on.
It's always something. Is it playing?
No, we have a green screen, like a literal green screen. Your face cracks me up so much because like the colors flash when you going from screen to screen. So it's like with every color change, it's like a new face of disappointment. Like,
Just burns my biscuits, but it don't happen right. I don't like when stuff not right, especially when we put it to do it right.
yeah,
When I
did
forget,
the
that's
work.
so
We did the work.
when I do it wrong, I'm like, yeah, I forgot that one. I messed that one up. But when I do it right, I want it to work
Hey,
right.
Sugars, have you heard about
Hold
the
on.
blocked and beautiful braid balm from Elegance by Design? The days of braid.
Do it right, Gina. Do it right. Let's see. It's gonna do the same thing again. Watch.
Say, nah, we good. Well, basically, y'all, I'm going to tell you about it. So it's still summertime and it is hot, super hot, big hot, hella hot. Okay. And when it's hot outside, that means it is box braid season. Okay. No matter where you are, whether it's from the east or the west, it's hot. Okay. So the Blocked and Beautiful Braid Balm is the product that you need, whether it's in your hair bag, slide it on to your braid lady, whatever the case may be. You need this product. It is light, yet it is rich, meaning a little goes a long way. Okay, you can do a little slick, boom boom, your whole section is ready to rock and roll. Okay, you can do cornrows, box braids, feed ins, the stitch braids, your natural hair, your sealy braids for your wigs and all that. Got you. Okay, and you can come out of you can do your do your takedown and go right into your shampoo. You don't have all of the buildup, the little white balls, the flakes that frizz. You don't have to do this and then you drop all your none of that. Okay, none of that. I'll retwist with Blocked and Beautiful Braid Balm. You don't see any white, you don't see any buildup, any residue. My locks wash clean. 2 washes, I'm out of there. Okay, so this product is clean, it is neat, it is beautiful, and it is what you need for your box braid situation. Okay, if you love your braider, slide that on into her bag. Okay, elegancebydesign.com for your Blocked and Beautiful Braid Balm. Hey, Sugars, have you heard about the Blocked and Beautiful Braid Balm from Elegance by Design? The days of braids being weighed down by heavy products that don't hold are over. Blocked and Beautiful Braid Balm is perfect for box braids, updos, and the most intricate of braid styles. Let your creative juices flow, knowing Elegance by Design has your braids on lock. Order yours now at elegancebydesign.com. We got that good old announcer sound on this evening. we got the PA effect tonight. Yeah, elegancebydesign.com. Blocked and Beautiful Braid Balm. Also at the Back to My Roots Marketplace if you're here in Oak City.
I didn't even know you were still in there.
Heck yeah, for sure. Not going nowhere. That marketplace has saved me from having to meet women halfway across the countryside when I get off work. It has helped me to be able to get my product out there to all kind of folks that I would not have normally met. I love the marketplace. Love, love, love it. I ain't going nowhere. As long as them doors swinging back and forth, Elegance by Design will be on the show.
Yeah. In there.
Uh-huh. Yep.
All right, let's see where we at. Oh, that's me. Duh.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'm just bebopping waiting on. I ain't got nothing. I ain't good.
I'm like, where? What post are we at? Yours, sir. And of course, I didn't download the thing. All right. So if you all have not heard, July 18th. Well, we having a rough. I'm having a rough day today, boy. July.
All right. All right, though.
Y'all know I get a little anal about my stuff being right. When it ain't right, I'm like, on the inside, my insides be screaming like, yeah, where is it at? Anyway,
All
y'all
right.
just pray my strength in the Lord.
This is the Tuesday. That's really the Monday. So give yourself a little. You be all right.
I mean, I am. I'm just, I'm usually okay with one mistake, but Anyway, I digress. July 18th. If you have not heard yet, I actually just launched it yesterday. I put up a post a couple of weeks ago asking people what they wanted, what you all wanted in terms of a 3-day training challenge, and you all chose a 3-day training over recovering from relationship trauma. So I launched it yesterday. I want you guys to go to the Facebook page and get registered. It's free. It's three. Well, at least the general sessions are free. There are a VIP group that's not free. And that's the one you actually want to be in. But it's 3 days where we're going to talk about, again, how do you recover from relationships. We're going to talk about how you can put yourself back in a position where you are ready to experience again your best relationships that you've experienced. So go over to the Facebook group or the Facebook page, excuse me, and get event page, get registered, and get ready and share. Also, there is a chance to win free sessions with me if you share this with your friends. So everybody who shares, you get the opportunity to get a one-on-one session with me. So go over to the Facebook group. If you're on my Facebook page, see I've shared the event a couple of times now. But y'all go ahead and get registered. It's going to be really good, and I'm gonna have some people pop in and we're gonna have some fun and we're gonna talk about relationships. So go and get registered today. Again, it's free. The general sessions is free, 99.
You
Y'all
know
get
we like free. We
about
like free.
go down. All right, good. That's all I got.
All right. Don't tag me in with my post. All right, y'all. Tonight we're talking about being flexy. Flexy. Check-ins. Okay. You know how we talk about how we go through different stages in relationships, transitions, growth, all of those good things. How we are individuals who decide to take this walk together. Okay. Maybe that's just me that says that last part, but there's lots of transitions and stages and phases that we go through along the way in relationships. So we're going to talk about this here on this evening, and what it looks like to check in with each other as you move through these different phases. So this is our starter. Deep relationships will periodically need intentional rebalancing so that both people feel supported in their power and happiness. What worked before may not work well now because of growth. Be honest about what you need so you can create a more nourishing home or friendship or workplace or wherever your ship is happening. Do you agree that relationships need tune ups? And if so, do you schedule them or do you just do them kind of as needed? That's kind of what we're digging into tonight. Because right now, I think we have focused a lot on individual growth and betterment and wellness, and everyone is, doing the mind, body, soul, and getting chakras aligned, and grounding and finding themselves and all these different things. Men and women alike, everybody is going through some type of metamorphosis into their next stage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean we haven't been in a relationship while doing it. And I don't always know that we have settled and then taken some inventory with our spouses, with our family members, with our friends, with the people that we do life with. As we grow and change, I think sometimes we expect them to just kind of like get the cliff notes and say, "Oh, okay, that's done now. All right, well, this is a new way that we move." Not realizing that that often needs an adjustment for those who are moving with you, and vice versa. They now have different expectations of this new you with all these new wonderful things that you've unlocked. Unlocked. Okay, well, how we get to do with it? What we're doing with this new thing? All right. So it becomes a conversation that I think we should begin to have with some humility and some openness. So that's why I led with the flexibility, because it can't be, or I would hope that it would not be a get over it. This is me type of thing. If someone expresses, well, I don't really know how to work with this. Like, what is this? Yeah, like this isn't what I'm used to or what I signed up for. And I need to know, not saying I'm out, but I need to know how to be in with this. Like when do you know when it's time to do that? And are you comfortable with having those conversations with the people that you love? That's what we're getting into tonight. Digging right on in. Yeah. On the surface, my quick and dirty answer for this is no. We don't do this very well. I think the deeper the relationship goes, the harder it gets. There's a bigger assumption of understanding that the person just is going to move along the way. Yeah. When would you think?
We don't do this well. We don't do this well at all. And usually I see when it does happen, it happens out of it happens when it's too late, and when the relationship has been when someone or both parties have been so injured that it's almost difficult to even have the conversation. That like it's so layered, it's so so much that it's hard. Like it takes a while to get to the actual real root, and the real necessary changes, because we waited so long to have the conversation that so much hurt and resentment and anger has piled up on top of everything, and
it begins to feel personal.
It feels personal. Yeah, it absolutely does feel personal. And you get to the point, like I've heard a lot of people be like, I just don't feel like he or she likes me anymore. And I'm like, okay, got it. Like I just don't understand why. Like, so it's just a lot. It's a lot to that goes into this, but yeah, we don't do it well. I think when we say periodically, I think we also need to be honest and say when periodically, uh, we need to be a little more descriptive. I think these conversations, this rebalancing happens probably every 3 to 5 years, and we just don't recognize it.
Yep. Because life happens around it. So yeah, I agree.
Because life happens around it, and some of that life happening is what brings about the change. So it's like we don't recognize that. We think that a person can have kids and they're not going to change. Then a person can lose a parent and not change, lose a job, get a promotion, like change economic status. Is like all of these things change who we are because they change what we're surrounded by, what affects us, what we're exposed to. That's the word I'm looking for. What we're exposed to. It changes all of that. And now we wonder, how come you seem different? Well, because in my last season, I wasn't exposed to this level of, of work. I wasn't exposed to these level of people. I wasn't exposed to this level of conversation and thinking that has me seeing the world different. I wasn't exposed to having to be with a baby all day and have to do so. I think it changes us and we don't recognize it. and then our partner doesn't recognize it. So now the things that we used to find gain strength from now oftentimes becomes things that drain us, and or it becomes frustrating because it's like, don't you see that I don't even like this no more? Instead of just engaging to say, hey, I don't care if I'm not that anymore, or hey, I noticed that you used to like what now you don't seem to like it, or you seem to like it, but do you actually really like it?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a proactiveness to it. So
yeah, I think this also gets hard because of the way that we relationship. We are very, I'm gonna use this word again, we're possessive of people. We like having people be our people, but the people I chose. Like, I know it's often hard for you to sign on for one person, and then it's always the same person, but one personality, one phase of a person is what you bought into, you signed up for, you thought, okay, yeah, this is where I'm gonna go happily ever after with. Unless that change, that transition, or life exposes you to equal adversity and issue where we agree that this is happening together and our relationship is changing, this becomes, if it happens too often, even with periodic check-ins, I think that we have to allow for life to happen, people to grow. I think sometimes we often put a lot of weight on, we chose each other, so that's it and that's all. And especially if in different phases and transitions of life. That is beautiful. That is fairy tale. That often happens for a large amount of people. But I think sometimes we stretch this out because it's what we think we're supposed to do. So like after you've done all of those things and had those conversations, sometimes it doesn't. You realize, okay, I get it. I see where you are. We've done the check-in. I've identified, I know what it is, and that just might not be what we're working with. Sometimes you've grown this way, I've grown this way. Still grow, just different directions. It doesn't mean that either people are bad people. Are they supposed to stay
right,
where it's not happening anymore? So I think those are the other sides of these things where it is necessary to do them sooner rather than later, and be very, very honest about where you are and how you're feeling about it, so that you can assess before it's too late. Because the too late that you're talking about, if it's going to end anyway, do you want to end because yes, we grew and it was wonderful, and I'm happy this person is now living their very best selves and their very best life, and we can happily be good friends later on going in these different directions? Or is it now I hate you because like we've been stuck here and I can't move in my direction and you can't move in your direction because we said we had to do the same direction together? So that's the other side of the check-in. All check-ins don't end up in you getting your sticker on your window and you getting tap on the booty on to the sunset you go. Like, that's not how it go.
no, most of them don't actually.
I mean, I'm just, you got to be willing to deal with that. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to end either, but it's not always going to be a great conversation. There's going to be some toughness.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
A lot. I think so. We just had this conversation this weekend. I think that in order to do that, though, you have to. I think that in order to do that, you have to reframe what that means, though.
Yeah.
So I think that most people hear tough conversation, and most people run from tough conversations because, and I said this in my book too, that I used to, I talked about how I didn't like confrontation because I thought confrontation always equals separation or divorce. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of times we don't like confrontation for some reason like that. But when you reframe confrontation as this is an opportunity, or this just means, literally, confrontation just means now we get to get closer.
Yeah.
Like, so now now I'm not going to run. I'm not going to shut down. I'm not going to gaslight. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to say, listen, I don't know what you just said. That makes absolutely nothing. That makes absolutely no sense to me, what you just said, because of this and this. But let's work through it.
Yeah. Help me figure it out.
If this takes us 4 or 5 conversations, we're gonna have these 4 or 5 conversations. So for me, it changed just reframing that. And then thinking, well, and if she do leave, okay, like I can't I can't make somebody stay, but I can make sure that I do my best to learn and to love and to listen.
Yep.
And that's what I do.
Yeah. Because our people, our relationships should transition. They should change and shift. Now, again, this is similar to what we were talking about earlier, as far as like having an understanding of the baseline of things. Like, the baseline of a person. Generally, the core of a
Yeah.
person isn't going to
Yes.
really shift too much. They're going to enjoy different hobbies. They might take up a new thing, and they love that thing, and it's a passion that they're excited about. And those types of things may shift and change and rearrange. But the core of a person, the stuff that they're made of, rarely moves around a whole lot. It's got to take some groundbreaking stuff to shift the core of a person. And usually we're aware of those things. We're there for that. That's those types of transitions are, you don't do those in private. You don't sneak up different core person. Like, that doesn't happen, especially for the people that you love. So I think we, coming into these conversations with a open mind, if anything, I think it would be like positive. All right, well, what we got? You know what I mean? Kind of a how can I help in this next phase? What is it that you need, or how can I be a better service to you as you move on into this place? You know what? And then they should be willing to come back to you and say, you know what? This is what I need. How, now that like I said, I've unlocked all these new special skills or whatever, this new, how can I help you? You know what I mean? What can I do for you? Because you've been with me through the transition and whatever difficulties that may have produced for our normal established way of life, because the changes shook some stuff up a little bit. So now I'm able to ground a little bit, and I'm coming back. What can I do for you? Those are the types of conversations that make change and different not so shocking. And, trying to keep your partner clued in, not necessarily in your back pocket or hand in hand as you go off and do your new thing. Your new thing may not become their new thing, but keep them tapped in a little bit so they're aware of the milestones. And, as you unlock this level, and you might struggle before you get to this one, but you beat the big boss here and we win it. You about to do your dance on the steps, so that they have an understanding of your buy-in, your love for it, your whatever it is, so they know when you do come back for that regroup, that periodic that check-in, they're like, okay, yeah, I saw you grinding and know your thing. Okay, so we
good. And yes.
So what we doing now? What's next? You good? Okay, so what we doing now?
And let me say, and as a man, I'm glad you brought that up, because even as a man, I can tell you that response there that you just gave, for me at least, is this kind of man, is like, that's the response that gets you, like the you know what I mean, like when I do something and you respond like that, I'm like, let me go out here and jump this building in a single bound. Let me go put this building together, knowing I can't build nothing. I'm gonna figure this out, because it builds something up in you, as well as it builds something up in you as in your relationship. Like, it builds up again. That's why I said this is an opportunity to get closer, because now that I've seen, like, I've watched you go through this change, and I've watched you grow, and I've watched you conquer this and fight through this. Like, there's a new level of respect, and like, okay, let me position myself to help more, or help better, or partner better, because I now have an understanding of the fight that she or he is going through. And so that's where the intimacy comes in, because it's like, I might not get all the stuff that you have to go through, but I recognize that it's different than what you were going through before, and that the toll taken on you is a lot. So let me get up and do this. Let me get up and help there. Let me figure out, okay, or even just ask, what can we do to make this a little easier? So I think you have to figure that kind of stuff out together. That's funny. I'm doing it together, IKEA stuff. Listen.
You better YouTube it, baby. YouTube it.
But you'll figure it out when she get to talk about some. Ooh, I love it. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that for us. And you like, yup, sure did. Sure
Put
did.
two of them
So
in the
it's
basket.
right. It's just different. And again, when you recognize what it's doing for not just you as a person, but for you as a couple.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because everything, yeah, you won't do everything together. You are absolutely going to take different interests and journeys, and life's going to give you different things as same as he's going to give them. It's you will
Mhm.
have individual trials that you will have to move through. Just you. Where the only thing your partner can do is support. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's even
Mhm.
hard because there's not really, what do you say in certain situations? I'm here.
Mhm.
And that's the sense, I got you. You know what I mean?
Listen,
And sometimes that's it. That's all you can do. Um,
listen, make coffee, rub it back,
yep. Yep. Those I'm
make sure the
here.
clothes is washed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
make sure the clothes is washed, make sure dinner's cooked,
Mhm.
wash the dishes. Like, there's you're right. There's some stuff you just can't do anything
Yep.
about.
Yep.
Nothing but
Release
be
from
there.
weight in a different spot. Yep. While they
But
handle that business. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. And
but I think I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, but when you move into that place, if you are the person who needs that support, that I just need you to fill in these gaps for me while I stay focused and do this, just make sure I eat, please. You know what I mean? Because like I ain't worried about me eating. Can you slide a brother a plate on the desk as I do my thing? Those types of things. But also, um, often, and I know as a woman, I'm going to speak as a woman. I don't know how it is for men, but I know for us being nurturers and caregivers, I think um when our men go through different transitions, there's a lot that is left for us to just intuitively feel and know and act upon. And there is a lot that is just kind of grandfathered into the job that is not really communicated sometimes, not necessarily in real time. It's a get in there, get it done type of thing. But when those tune ups come back around, those check ins come back around, I sometimes wonder if men recognize the importance of that appreciation for what
Mm,
should be or what is assumed to be expected or just known, part of the plan.
mm,
We talk a lot of the times about how there's a certain, once a man has made it and he gets his big legacy award speech and he does all the thanking and all the other stuff, and the woman's often looking like, at the end, like those types of things. There is a lot for us that is assumed is easy or lighter or um more expected to deal with because of wife, woman, mother, nurturer. There's still a level of there's still a lot that she deals with while doing that, especially if there's no communication being had that this is needed. It's just here, 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 and you just are acting like once it becomes a task list and not a care for, that can weigh on a person. So you have to, I think, if I could give the fellas any type of ding
mm.
ding moment, it is to remember that while she's joyous in doing it, it could be the reason why her feet hit the ground every morning. It does make a huge difference to say to her, I see that you're doing this and it's extra. Every man don't have a you. Every man ain't coming home to a woman who and is doing these things, and I appreciate you for doing what you do. That part goes leaps and bounds above any little box that you could provide, any bouquet of flowers, anything like it. Don't take a whole lot. It's saying that I see what people don't, and I appreciate the hell out of you for doing it for me. Those types of things really, 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 really matter from a woman's perspective. I'm sure fellas got that too, but
That's good.
it's
No,
because
that's
we
real.
nurture everybody. Like women nurture everything. Like we leave the house as the wife, and then sometimes we go to the office and we take on that role in the office, and then we move to the church, and then you're caring for the people at the church, and then you move to you know what I mean. So like you're always caring for everything. So if your woman goes above and beyond to do an extra bit of care for you, I think she needs that from you more than from all the other random folks that she's doing the caring for. It hits different.
Y'all heard
It
it.
hits
Y'all heard it. That's real. That's real. That's
different.
real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is real. Okay.
Yeah.
We heard what she said. We
Mhm.
heard what she. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that does, and I think that sometimes I know a lot of one of the mistakes that we do make. To your point, is that we get because it does often seem like it's second nature to you all. We don't think about not so much the energy it takes to do it, but the things that you're not doing to do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like we think a lot of times, at least I'll speak for me. I'm not gonna speak for all men. That sometimes I have to be like, I think she likes doing that. She fine. They good. And it's not that you're not good or fine. It's just I also didn't always used to think like I bet she'd rather be doing nothing right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'd probably rather be doing nothing or going to get going and hang out with girls or
Mhm. Anything.
whatever.
It's not that right now.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Because you do it, you all do
Yeah.
it so well and seem to have joy doing it. So
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
So that's a real thing that we have to remember sometimes. Like this is there's a heavy weight, and I think especially as men, when we feel like we're not getting the same thing, we
Mhm.
should definitely make sure that we're not perpetuating the same not yeah foolishness that we what I mean like if we're this should be something that's natural in our relationships that we again are intentionally looking to see how we can serve and serving is also goes hand in hand with me saying hey I appreciate you just like again like you would do an employee not to say
Yes.
that you are an employee I'm not saying that but I'm saying
No, I
that
know what you mean.
we
We do
show
it.
appreciation to people who we recognize are going over and above at work. So why not do the same thing at home?
Yep.
I recognize that you are doing, I recognize that you are consistently taking care of me. I recognize that you know what, that you would probably much rather be hanging out with your girls right now than dealing with our dirty draws.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
appreciate you. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yep.
So just when we know it's appreciated, it's absolutely joyous. We feel like a teammate. When we feel like an unappreciated assistant, excuse me, it feels horrible.
Facts. I'm looking for stuff to do when I know you love what I'm doing, what I do for you. I'm looking for stuff to do. I might mess around and be on your nerves, trying to help. If you don't sit up, get out of the way. You know what I mean? Like I can easily become that person. You will be overflowing with
You,
extras. Yeah, with me,
you,
with all of that. Yeah, if I know that like it's
you.
going somewhere and it's doing something, but honey,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
honey,
no, I hear
I
you.
fall back
I hear
game is strong these days. Like what I say earlier, that observation game, I ain't gonna beat you over the head with it. I'm just gonna stop doing it. Like I'm just gonna chill. Like I'm just not. And you know,
you. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Pay
Mhm.
attention. Pay attention. Yeah. All right. I ain't got nothing else.
Mm-mm. I'm
You got something
hey,
else?
that not that cut off this right, right. I'm toasting it. Ordering cookbooks and all kind of stuff. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Putting little stickies in the noses and little lunches. You ain't might even be going nowhere, but your lunch is in the refrigerator, okay? Like it's ready, baby. Yeah.
Hey, it's because everybody wants to be appreciated. So I think we got to, again, I think a lot of it's just being intentional.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's recognizing that this is happening or not happening, slowing down and slowing down. Like, don't take it for granted. Slow down and be like, and just really think about what the person's doing.
Oh,
Solve a lot of problems. So
use your words. Everybody, use your words.
yep, that's all I got.
Yep. My final thoughts this week, because I prepared a little something, something, a little, very little something, something, because I didn't want to get up here and be like, I'm done. But throughout tonight's topics, the thing that stood out the most to me was flexibility. We dealt with the co-parenting situation. It wasn't ideal. And some flexibility could have been exercised that could have created a more peaceful situation for all parties involved. Had there been a little bit of conversation and a little bit of easy breezy flexibility to happen. We talked about uh flexibility and the safety with the dating. There are options that you could have when making sure that your body makes it home safely while trying to date out here in these streets. We're talking about having checkups with one another as far as maintaining our relationships. And that, like I said at the beginning of the show, that doesn't always just restrict us to our romantic relationships. As me and my girls have transitioned through friendships, we've had to readjust to what our needs. As life has knocked us around a little bit, we've had to adjust on what the others need and how we show up for each other, and the things that we say and do to support and love on and care for each other changes. Where we may have started out as, girl, let's kick it, we getting turned, da, 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 da. Now we do quiet girls trips where we meditate and hike. You know what I mean? Where we might need to sit around and share a bottle of wine and cry it out to get our stuff out because we're dealing with stuff and we only get this time. And that has to be all right. Allowing for not only yourself, but then your circle to move and flow and allow life to not happen to them, but create a space of people, to create a community of people who do life with you, that are able to and prepared to move with you. They know you. They can pivot. They understand what's coming. They begin to anticipate. They can cover you differently because you communicate what you need. You're open about your deficit and where you're going to grow, the things I want to work on. When you surprise folks with the things that you need help on, because you're perfect out here, like, you good, I'm me, you gonna give me and then all of a sudden you're taking this whole turn, they're like, wait a minute, who? There's a whole other type of conversation, and often we don't even get to the point of what we need to talk about because we're still trying to grapple with the fact that you're changing. What? Man. But if you allow people in as you're working through that discovery phase, as you're working through, this is what's happening. We going in now. Yep. And you bring them along. You offer them a seat if they're if they won't, if it's appropriate. But if they don't, cool. Just rock with me. I'll be back. You know what I mean? Just roll with me a little bit. I got you. When I'm done, you get full of me. But I'm gonna need you to roll with me right now. And that allows for when everyone comes and you dancing on the steps, you got the people down there with the camera, that is the full moment, instead of you having to come back down off the steps because they all looking like
what's going on?
Where was my invite to the dancing on the steps? I didn't even know we was ready for the steps. You know what I mean? So being flexible and then honest enough to be vulnerable with your people, to say, this is where I'm going, I'm gonna need your help. And whatever that is, and offering that and then expecting to receive that. That is a part of the process. A lot of the times your folks get frustrated because they didn't have a part to play. They didn't know where they fit. That's why I don't think they like me, because where's I? You didn't even invite me. This was even happening. So we also have a responsibility to our people to not move in silence. That's for strangers. Your people should be kind of in the know on what's going on with you, especially if there's an expectation that they're supposed to engage with the new you. Or expect that awkward new you feeling. It's not always you gonna go back a little bit to the honeymoon stage. If you don't want to go back to the who this, tell them in progress. That's important. And know that the person that you met, if long term is your goal, is not going to be the person that you continue to make life happen with over and over and over again. Lexi.
That was good. That was the word.
Thank you. See what happens when I do a couple sentences? I can just a few words. Just a few. And it's literally 2 sentences that I wrote down. Yeah, we got a joke. I don't know, for those of you who watch regularly, we get to close at the final thoughts, and I'm like, I have talked enough. Y'all, those were the thoughts. And I'm scraping and scrambling. And I thought to myself, you need a damn final thought like this. Today, I did a little pre-work and wrote down a couple things so that I wouldn't be all over the place this evening.
I'm so proud of you. Oh, God.
It was multiple reasons Assassin Sage went away. Just saying. I own my ish, okay? There are multiple reasons. That segment is a throwback, okay? Carry on with your thoughts, my man.
Oh, God. Oh, God. So here's my final thoughts. My final thought is this. Excuse me. So today, for those who don't know, I recently moved, and as this office that I'm in now, I spent a good chunk of the day cleaning and getting ready because just moved. And as I was actually sitting here, and I was looking, and I was looking behind me, and I thought that this room and this view are a very good reflection of what a lot of us are doing right now. A lot of us are showing the parts of our lives that look like it's together. And we're not honoring the mess that's behind it. So though right now it's cleaner behind me, it's not completely clean, but all of the boxes, all of the papers, if I turn this screen to the right or to the left, you will see I have a stack of papers about this high right now to my right, and mail stacked up to this much mail stacked to my left. And earlier I had a bunch of boxes behind me and a whole bunch of other stuff. But if you looked, you saw this bookshelf that looked really nice.
And so got them leaning all cute and stuff, like you read on a regular.
Which I do. But my final thoughts are actually, what would it be like if we were honest, not just about the stuff that looks good, but the mess that's around us, and gave people the opportunity, the right people around us, because the right people around us gave them the opportunity to see the full person or what's really fully happening, and allowed them the space to help us, to love us as is in our mess and in our togetherness, so that we could say, you know what, look, this is who I am right now. And those people will come along and help you straighten out all the mess and get your life to the point where the mess is either nicely boxed
put away for company,
something. So I just want to encourage you, if you've got good people around you, don't pretend like your life is all together. Let them see the mess, because those are the people who are called to help you with your mess.
Amen.
That's my final. You'll hear more about that tomorrow. And go and register for the 3-day challenge. It's going to be really good. Really good.
That was a good little word right there, bro. I'm so called. I'm so glad that you are called to help me with my mess.
Absolutely. And I am glad you are called to help me.
I'm glad we both answered that here call, honey, because we have had many of them color purple moments. Yes, it is definitely a blessing.
So, all right, y'all. Y'all hope y'all enjoyed tonight. Again, if you have not hit that share button to share this tonight, again, y'all know the goal is to take this show and think through it work through it, have conversations with your people so that you can get better. Because a lot of the things that we're saying are from our perspective and
Yep.
our experience, but yours might have some nuances that ours don't. So if you're sitting with your woman, with your man, with your friends, with your father, your mother, whomever, hey, how does this apply to you? And let's have that conversation so that our relationships can get better, our relationships can improve, we can improve, and we can do it together. Because I heard Steve Harvey say something today, and I really thought about it. He said that he pointed out that we are the only group of people who are responsible for what the other does. And I thought to myself, though I agree, I don't think that's fair. I agree that that is
True.
what that's true. So we need each other. We need each other to be present for each other, to be loving to each other, to help one another become better. And so we're committed to doing that with you and for you. So absolutely, Mike. Appreciate you, my brother. So we definitely appreciate you all for being here. We appreciate your comments, your shares, everything that you all do week in and week out. So y'all have a good night. We'll be back next week with another phenomenal show. I'll holler at y'all later.
Good night. Mm.